good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may be. Welcome to this unique collaboration between Chakra News and Gunners Shot. I'm joined by Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, former Director General Artillery, a commentator on many things beyond just the military. We're going to be talking about geopolitics today. Bangladesh is our focus. This morning, ADVAITA Kala is back from a vacation. She has some issues. She will be joining us, some technical issues. So hopefully she'll join us through the podcast. But Jan Shankar, I want to start by asking you this straight off. Is Bangladesh becoming the new East Pakistan 2.0 in 2025?
Oh, thanks a lot on this Saturday morning. And SANDEEP, great talking to you once again after a week. But before we talk of that, I must grant it to you. The way you put it, is Bangladesh the new East Pakistan 2.0?
Right.
Okay, I'll put it this way. It's the new East Pakistan 1.5. It's not a 2.0. Okay?
Not a fully formed number.
Yeah. It's not a fully formed East Pakistan. It's not going back to it. And probably it can't go back to its roots.
Right.
To East Pakistan. But it's no more the Bangladesh we knew.
Right.
It's neither the Bangladesh we knew or we liberated. Right? It is not the Bangladesh of 1971.
Right.
It's not the East Pakistan of 1971. It is somewhere in between. And the thing is this, that, look, neither is India the India of 1971. Let's put it this way. Change is endemic. But Bangladesh has regressed. The thing is, Bangladesh has regressed. And I'd like to talk about that more than, what's happening. That is something one has to understand. Why is it regressed? Every political system or nation or anything progresses. This has regressed back. It started with something and it is now revising its history. Right? It's revising its history and it is actually disregarding its own history. It's as if what's happening in Bangladesh today is as if their history from 1947 to now is not there. It's in fact from 1971 to now, it's as if it's just not there. So it's someone else's lived history.
Right.
My view is any nation which disregards its history doesn't have a future. Right? Or if this nation has to go back to its history from 47 to 71, well, is it going back to a future of that kind? So there are a lot of problems with Bangladesh the way I look at it.
That's very interesting. You should say that, Jan Shankar. The fact that Bangladesh is regressing, and we've actually seen that. And I think the most stark reminder of this is the way that they've been literally erasing their history of 1971, beginning from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's house being razed, and even the murals. If you notice the murals of that famous surrender at Dhaka, those are being destroyed. Everything to do with their victory, liberation in 1971 is being erased. Almost as if it is one political party that gave them independence, and therefore they want to go against that kind of thing. It's a bizarre state of play in Bangladesh.
Let me. It's not just that. Let me see how they're doing historical revision of their own story.
Right.
Look, first and foremost, they're, like you rightly brought out, they're downplaying the role of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Okay,
right.
The term Bangabandhu is no more used.
Right.
They've removed his portrait from the currency. Of course, his Dhanmondi has been, once broken. Now they want to completely erase it, flatten it out.
Right.
Okay, and then they altered textbooks. Right. And very funnily, they now, whoever the forces are, they want Ziaur Rahman as the, father of Bangladesh, not Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Right.
And he is the guy they say is declared independence of Bangladesh and all that. So Ziaur Rahman has come into the picture. Now, the fact is they feel that India has not contributed to their liberation at all. At
Right.
all. They have conveniently forgotten that we hosted more than 10 million refugees. They have conveniently forgotten the fact that, we had to go in and fight for them, shed blood for them. That's gone.
Right.
Look, I'm not decrying the fact, or rather, you cannot underplay the fact, even by iota, of the sacrifices which Bangladeshis made for their
Yes.
freedom.
Yeah, millions
That
of
is,
Bangladeshis were murdered, massacred, they were
yeah,
killed,
yeah.
tortured.
They
Yes.
bore tremendous thing. You can't. But so did India. Okay, we
Right.
were a poor country then. We're not a rich country like today,
Right.
relatively, right? And we bore them, right? And most importantly, they are rehabilitating the same Jamaat-e Islami, which was against their liberation.
Right.
And it collaborated with Pakistan during the genocide.
Right.
Without the collaboration of groups like Al-Badr and all, Al-Badr was
Right.
a offshoot of, not even an offshoot, was a subsidiary of Jamaat-e Islam.
Right.
This was a militia that cooperated with the Pakistan Armed Forces, Army.
Right.
Even in, capturing East Pakistan rifles, East Bengal rifles, that was completely surrounded their thing in Chittagong, near Chittagong, I think Pilkini or someplace or that, I'm forgetting, and disarmed them and arrested officers. All that's gone from their history. I mean, that's very funny. Then there's another trend which is there, which is not marked. There's a pro-Islamist tilt. I mean, the fact that they've lifted the ban on Jamaat-e Islam itself indicates that they're Islamist tilt. That's one.
Right.
They have released JEI leaders who are imprisoned and sentenced to death for genocide. Now those people have been released.
Yeah.
There's Hizbul Tahrir, guys with known affiliation for Hizbul Tahrir, which is a fundamentalist organization. They've been put into government today. They have not acted, on their thing on minorities, Hindus, Buddhists, Christians. They've suffered at the hands of Islamists just in the past 1 year.
Right.
Right. And then you see, the biggest thing of the revisionism, pro-Islamist tilt, and East Pakistan 2.0 is they are now targeting their own syncretic Bengali culture. Right? It's something like a Islamic counter-revolution which is happening.
Right.
It is both theocratic in nature. It is anti-India ideology. It is anti-Bengali ideology. In fact, if I go back in history, it was Ziaur Rahman who started the story. It was Ziaur Rahman who said, we don't want a Bengali culture, we want a Bangladeshi culture. And that Bangladeshi culture was more Islamist in nature. The secular part of the Bengali culture was, started to change. And it changed quite a bit. If you go into the history, from Ziaur Rahman to the time of Ershad. Ershad was also Islamist, incidentally.
Yes.
Yes. Right? Till even BNP continued with it. It was only Sheikh Hasina who took it back to the secular constitution.
Right.
Now that
for the benefit of viewers who may not know who Ziaur Rahman is, Ziaur Rahman is a young officer who participated in the liberation of Bangladesh. He was the military face of the struggle. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was the political face. So it would be roughly, if you would look at it, it would be Jawaharlal Nehru. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was like a Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi rolled into one. And Mujibur Rahman, Ziaur Rahman, if you argue, would be something like a Subhash Chandra Bose, the military face of the struggle. And what happened is that in 1975, he took over power in a coup. He didn't directly assassinate Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, but he benefited from the assassination that he took over the reins of power in 1975. That's 50 years ago in August. And he ruled for 6 years. And as Shankar was saying, this is the Islamization of Bangladesh that we have missed. Pakistan began its Islamism in after Ziaul Haq in 77, but we forget that there was another Zia in Bangladesh who had begun the same process in 75. And that is literally the result of what we are dealing with today. And the BNP is the party that Ziaur Rahman founded. It's now run by his widow, Khalida Zia, and his son, Tariq Rahman. And so that is the other pole of the Bangladeshi politics. So, I mean, sir, please continue.
Yeah. Look, I'd like to clarify. Ziaur Rahman was nowhere near the stature of Subhash Chandra Bose, even in their own story then.
A rough analogy, just
very rough analogy.
Nothing to compare. In terms of nature, they're completely different. Yes.
And one. Number two, you look at their history and analyze it. Ziaur Rahman was responsible for the assassination of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. You know, if you look at it there critically, their literature, it suggests that he was the mastermind behind this assassination, and he did it deliberately to take over the state and put it under the martial law. And he founded the BNP, which was thing. Then he also was the one who, you see, this is where the parallels with East Pakistan start, East Pakistan 2.0 and Pakistan. He was the one who started the tilt towards China, right? He was the one who said, we have to be anti-India. India, we are surrounded by India. India is not our friend. This was views. India is not our friend. It is, India is our enemy. We are Islamists. These people are not. We will be culturally invaded. He was the one who started the thing that of Bangladeshi thing, rather overriding the Bangladeshi nationalism, overriding the Bengali culture. Okay. And he was the one who said to offset India, we have to go to China. That's what Pakistan did, and that's what he also did. And fundamentally, because of the reason, he is basically from the East Pakistan Rifles. You go back into time, he was a Pakistani officer.
And don't forget, Shankar, he was actually ISI. Not a lot of people he was Inter-Services Intelligence, ISI. So that's why the intrigues.
So he was, actually, let me give you a personal experience. I'm going back to 84. I was an instructor in School of Artillery. And, I was teaching the long gunnery staff course. Two Bangladeshi officers had come to do the long gunnery staff course. And one was a young officer. And we're talking of 84. By then, you're talking 13 years later, right? 71. There was a young officer who was normal. He was like any other Indian officer or a Bengali officer, and though he was from Bangladesh. There was another senior officer who had about 14 and a half years service, right? He was of that original Pakistani origin, I mean, when I say Pakistani, from the time when East Pakistan was, this was East Pakistan. Yeah. Now, this fellow was hostile to us. You could make out. He was hostile. Mentally, he was hostile to us. Right? So now, we have to understand the Bangladeshi army of that time, even Ershad, had his origins in, the Pakistan army of the year. Many of these people probably did not want liberation from Pakistan.
Right.
So they've taken these people from then. The revisionism didn't start with Yunus taking over.
Right.
The revisionism started then. So what you're seeing today is a gradual process which happened. Plus, this is conflated with the rise of militant Islamist forces or radicalism all over the world.
Right.
Okay. And plus the fact that it was Ziaur Rahman who started, setting up links with the Middle East. You see, very funnily, why did these people go to the Middle East and all? They needed foreign currency. They needed, right? So they sent them as labor, basically. So Bangladeshis were cheap labor for the rich Middle East economies from 71 onwards. I mean, think of it. That was a time when the oil shock came, the first oil shock, and the OPEC
Right.
formed in the 70s.
Mid 70s.
72,
Yes.
yeah, 72, 73, if I remember right. Right? And that was when people started having money. So Bangladeshis were sent, and this chap took over in 75, Ziaur Rahman. So he not only started this Islamic trend line, he started increasing his links with the Middle East. He said, look, my Bangladesh future is with the Middle East, it's with China. And so from there, the Islamist and the radical tendencies came back, just like it happened in Pakistan.
Right.
Right? So with the money came the ideology. Okay. So this has been going on, not now, over the half century that Bangladesh has existed. So these things we have to understand. That's why I said it's 1.5. Pakistan, East Pakistan.
Fascinating sweep of history, Ajahn Shankar. And what the takeaway from this is that in 1971, I think there's a large section of Bangladesh which hadn't reconciled to the idea of an independent Bangladesh. And that is the Islamist part. The Jamaat is part of that faction that is not reconciled. They did not want an independent Bangladesh. And I think that is the segment that we are now seeing, bubbling up and, doing all this destruction of their history and rewriting their textbooks and that. But the strange part, Janak Shankar, is that how does Muhammad Yunus, this so-called left liberal, secular, progressive, Nobel Prize winning guy, fall into this Islamist trap?
Oh, well, this is again a tendency. Look, I'll go back in political history and we'll see the thing. Strangely, the left-wing element, left-wing ideology, communist ideology, and radical Islam have a deep connect. Look at it in Pakistan. After all, what was Bhutto? Bhutto was a left-wing socialist.
Socialist, yes.
Socialist. He ultimately promoted the Islamism. He was the one who spoke of an Islamic bomb and all that. You look at the tendencies in Egypt, Tunisia, in the complete Middle East, Libya, Syria. All these had left-wing ideologies, and these were the founds of Islamic radicalism. Or for that matter, even PLO. Right? So there is a great conflation between the left-wing ideology and Islamic fundamentalism, right? And that was there in Bangladesh all through. It had never gone. That's a global trend line, right? And I feel, when you analyze Bangladesh, there were three streams running parallel in Bangladesh. Right? And the first stream amongst them was those in Bangladesh, were those who were with the, India, pro-India, secular, that stream. Okay.
Right.
The second stream was the anti-India, pro-Pakistan stream, like JEI. Okay.
Right.
And that kind. The middle stream was the lot who were who were more pro-Bangladesh nationalism, and all that, and not exactly anywhere. Okay, these three streams, say till about for some time, the first two streams operated together, and when you see Bangladesh from 75 to around 2000. The middle stream enlarged and continued a middle path. But today, what you're saying is this middle path and this extreme path have conflicted. Now, if you look at it, Yunus was on the middle path.
Right.
He was in the middle path with the tendency to go to the right. I mean, when I say right, towards the Jamaat variety. And that is why he was thrown out of, he was actually convicted and thrown out.
Yes.
by Sheikh Hasina because he wanted power earlier, right?
Right.
And he wanted to gain power through his that bank, micro bank, which he put
Grameen
Grameen,
Bank.
right? He was thrown out of the Grameen Bank because part of the Grameen Bank uh, was affecting governance because it went to
Right.
grassroots. It had a grassroots reach. So he was thrown out. So he was just waiting to be brought back in through the Soros route and the Clinton Foundation and all.
Yeah.
And then, of course, look, we all know the links which Pakistanis have had with USA, but we've
Right.
always ignored the links Bangladesh has developed with USA.
And particularly post 1975,
Yeah,
post the assassination of Sheikh Mujib.
yeah. So both these have happened. No, so what is happening is probably in a way a natural flow which is happening. Okay,
Right.
and this was aided, unfortunately, aided by Sheikh Hasina's own authoritarianism. And right, and she was hard. I mean, she had to rule Bangladesh with the iron fist. Otherwise,
Right.
nothing would have happened, right? But then, is it different in Bangladesh? You look at it at every stage. At every stage, it's the same. Bangladesh always had a troubled history. They killed
Right.
they killed their own people. It's like I mean, how do I say? An animal killing its own children,
Yes.
right? Bangabandhu they assassinated. Then Ziaur Rahman was assassinated. Then Ershad was thrown into jail. In between, a whole lot of civilian chaps were thrown out. Then the Battle of the Begums. One killed the other type politically,
Abida
or
and
yeah,
Sheikh Hasina. Yeah.
yeah. So Khalida Zia was thrown into jail by Sheikh Hasina. Now the reverse is happening, and now once Yunus finishes, he'll also be killed in some manner. He
Right.
might not be killed physically, or he might be. You don't know. It's a violent country, right? So this internal churn is continuing. It is not normalized, and I feel that this country will not normalize very easily. And you have to also understand one of the fundamentals of this story is that why Bangladesh will not be a normal country is forget about China, forget about Pakistan, and all that. Internally, if you see, uh, the population is huge and they don't have internal resources. Their economy is short. Their economy was doing well because India aided its economy. If now India has withdrawn, they can't survive. I mean, uh, I read recently, and I'll read it out because I have it in front of me. There's an article in Daily Star, which is the leading Bangladesh newspaper, which says the rise of Islamic politics in Bangladesh is rooted to a large extent in domestic discontent emanating from unemployment, inequality, corruption, and the absence of credible secular leadership. Now, this is a telling thing which is coming out from within, right? Yeah. So this is a telling thing which is coming out from within. And then this guy who's commented, he says further, that's the duality in Bangladesh which you see. If India is unashamedly Hindu, why should Bangladesh not be proudly Muslim?
Right.
So they have their perceptions and that's the way they're going. I don't know whether they can, come back into a mainstream. What they feel their mainstream is far different from what we feel their mainstream should be. So there's
Should
a
be.
so I don't see this reversing easily. I don't see Bangladesh economy coming back on track. They don't have balance of payments. The garment industry has closed. I can give you a complete Dobby list of how their economic indicators are bad. Their rice imports from Myanmar, on which they have to survive, has gone down. Agriculture output has gone down there. FDI has gone down. Their garment industry, which was the biggest, about 90 odd garment industries are packed up. 50 odd thousand people are without jobs, right? So there's a
Right.
decline. There's a large decline. Now,
Economic
even
meltdown.
now,
Yeah.
yeah, even now, you see the reactions of this death sentence on Sheikh Hasina. internationally. No one has bothered. Even China has said it's their internal thing. We're not bothered. They didn't. China has also washed its hands off. Pakistan also has.
Yeah, normalized. This thing has been normalized. Then you think the state of play?
Yeah, that's the thing. Whatever is happening in Bangladesh is being normalized by the people of Bangladesh. Right. So I don't know whether Bangladesh will ever be a normal nation. Well, the way it is, we have to deal with this East Pakistan which is emerging.
Right.
Right.
Deal with this East Pakistan that's emerging. But Jan Shankar, I have to ask you then, what about this? We discussed this in the past as well in passing. The Pakistan, Bangladesh, China axis. What does that mean for our northeast? That is another axis that is developing. You see that?
Look, I'll put it this way. Everyone says that this is going to be a problem and all, but I don't see it to be that much of a problem. Fundamentally, this is an interesting thing. The only country which with Bangladesh has had better relations after this recent troubles is Pakistan.
Right.
But Pakistan doesn't have the capacity to do anything there. What?
Right.
Just because a few guys have gone and ISI is gone, what will happen? Trade can't happen because Pakistan itself is in doldrums. Yeah. Right. Today, IMF is not hesitating to release them the next tranche because they want some conditionalities. I'll not go there. What trade can happen between two beggars? Literally. Okay, you can trade. Yeah, that's a fact. That's the first thing. The second thing is China. Yunus went to China. He said, "Come here. India is landlocked. They can only go through Bangladesh. You do all that, and we will trade with Bhutan, Nepal. How can they trade anything with Nepal, Bhutan if you don't give them transit? He's forgotten conveniently. There's 100 kilometers of area between Nepal or Bhutan and Bangladesh, and we'll not let anything go. They don't have power." Yeah. China is not a fool. Despite all that, China has not invested one naya paisa in Bangladesh after
Bangladesh, right? It's not.
China has evinced interest only in two projects. One at Lal Monir Ghat, which is right, and the other is at that Teesta water project because it borders India very close. Yeah. But therein the thing is, we've told them in no uncertain terms, partner, if you do all that, you are in for trouble. I think government of India has conveyed it. And, we've set up one military station at Dhubri, we've set up one at Chopra, and one at Kishanganj around the Siliguri corridor. All these will be monitored, and we'll not allow them to progress. As simple as that. Right. So
Shankar, taking from what you said, this beggar statement that basically the two beggars, and it's a tragedy because just a year and a half ago, Bangladesh was ahead of Pakistan in forex reserves. It was doing very well economically, all of that. And what Field Marshal Asim Munir said that, no, we get it. Pakistan is like a dump truck. India is like a Ferrari, shiny Ferrari. So, we now have a second dump truck in the neighborhood. We have one on the west, and now we have one on the east. That's a problem, isn't it?
Asim Munir said that. Asim Munir said what he had to say, that Pakistan is a dump truck and India is a shining Mercedes. While he said this as a threat, the fact is that he's acknowledged India as a shining Mercedes itself, you have to understand. How will the dump truck ever catch up with the shining Mercedes? It won't happen. Right? And how much can he do? What can he do? I mean, let's look at it. What can Pakistan do to our economy? Unless it goes nuclear. If it goes nuclear, there will be no Pakistan left. I mean, India might get hurt, and in the worst case of Armageddon, Pakistan won't be left at all. In the same way, what can Bangladesh do? What can Bangladesh do to hurt your economy?
Right.
Right.
They can possibly push in a lot of people and make life miserable for us, burden our border districts like they did in 71, but not out of design. that was a genocide underway. But here, they could do something like that to unsettle our border regions, for instance. That pressure they could apply.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That is the only danger coming from Bangladesh. Okay, for the simple reason that increasingly the pressure on the population, pressure on the land in Bangladesh, and its unproductive nature will put pressure on our borders. And on
Right.
which borders? It will be on the Assam border, on the Meghalaya border, and the West Bengal border. They won't go towards Tripura,
Right.
because Tripura is all jungles and they're all tribal. So where can they go? They don't have very much space. And these people can't go there. There's no opportunity there. The opportunity is in Assam. The opportunity is in India. Labor. So we have to tighten our systems. And I think we started doing, there's a realization today in India uh, that we have to do it. That's why these new cantonments are coming up across. And these are, where are they coming? They are coming up in those areas where infiltration is the max.
Right.
Known infiltration routes. Right? And we'll tighten up. We have to tighten up our systems. The problem is largely internal to India also. You see, there's a societal issue which is happening in India, or a demographic issue which is happening in India. We are running slowly as a development is taking place. Our requirement of labor is going up, cheap labor. So, if you want cheap labor, I know this is happening in South India. There's no labor in South India. All labor in South India is either from North India, Nepal, or Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And the builder lobby and the mining lobby and all are going heavily or facilitating or exploiting, whichever way you call it. It's all a matter of money and cheap money, profits and things like that. They're getting labor from Bangladesh, illegal immigrants. They are the ones, illegal immigrants. You have to pay the least. They are vulnerable. Everything. So you put them in camps in some manner, in how camouflage them locally. You don't have to give them much money, unlike our Indian this thing. We know first generation they'll suffer, second generation they are a problem for you, right? And that is something we have, our governments have to realize. It's not only the government in Delhi, it's the government in Tamil Nadu, it's the government in Maharashtra, it's the local government in Delhi, or for that matter in J&K or wherever, right? Or the government in Assam. Unless these governments take a thing and crack down on the businesses, local businesses, this problem won't go away.
Right.
So
do you
we
see
have
that
to.
as a bigger, General Shankar, do you see this as a bigger threat than just terrorism or kind of proxy war? The fact that you have this large influx of Bangladeshis who are coming in, displacing, capturing the labor market and all, is that a big threat in the long term?
Yeah, I think this is the bigger threat. Terrorism and things like that are immediate threats, right? Look, terrorism has a more viable, I won't say identifiable face, right? And terrorism has you can get your hands around it. You can grip terrorism, right? And come to grips with terrorism and deal with it. You have very clear-cut lines. This is different. This is human migration, and human migration is endemic to human nature. How do you stop that? Right? And that has to be a societal approach.
Right.
That has to be a whole of government approach, whole of nation approach. Right? And you will have this problem from Bangladeshis getting into India. There's no running away from it. You will have to cope with this problem. You will have to cope with your own issues internally. If you are internally very clear as to how to sort it out, you'll be able to sort it out. Let's give a flip. Why does no one want labor from Pakistan? Even there, you get labor from Pakistan, it'll be very cheap. After all, you get the cheapest labor in the Middle East, who are all Pakistanis.
Yes.
It is the Pakistanis who do the menial jobs in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So no one goes there. Why? Because everyone recognizes that Pakistan is your adversary.
Right.
Right? Unless we all start recognizing that Bangladesh is East Pakistan 2.0, 1.5, or whatever it is, it's back to the thing, you'll not stop this flow. That's my argument.
Right. That's a great take, Jan Shankar. And the fact that East Pakistan 2.0 or 1.25 or 1.5, and that's going to be a big worry for us, especially at a time when we're talking about the Act East policy was on track, and now that is temporarily paused because of the violence in Manipur. Then, of course, the issues in Myanmar and now in Bangladesh. What do you see in the next couple of months happening? Bangladesh has got the elections in February, which we hope are going to be free and fair. But the Awami League has been kept out. They've been not being allowed to contest the elections. What do you think is going to happen? It's just 3 months away.
Look, it's going to be a turbulent period ahead. One thing which has come out in the past 1 month is that the Awami League is not finished. It's there. Okay.
Right.
Sometime back, there was some kind of a poll taken, views taken, and what came out? Way back in February, it came out that 42% wanted to vote BNP.
Right.
Jamaat, earlier it used to be 10-12%. Today, probably it's in the region of 30%. Awami League, 14%. This is in February. I'm talking of a poll in February. And NCP, that is the New Citizens Party of the students, about 5%. But this count was, or opinion was taken in February, March. We are now 8 months down. But in the 8-9 months, what has happened? Their economy has gone for a toss. A lot of violence, a lot of breakdowns. No one is responding internationally. People are in pain. So the Awami League is still the strongest party, in Bangladesh. After all, the party got liberation for this country. They are quiet. Many 2/3 of the people who were polled didn't reply back to this poll. Incidentally, they're quiet.
Oh.
So there is what is disclosed.
Silent majority. Yeah.
Silent majority. What is disclosed versus what is undisclosed suggests that there is a hidden support for Awami League below the surface, and
because of the violence, they've been intimidated. They're low with the violence and atrocities,
and that has started surfacing recently with the when the tribunal was sitting and about to decide the sentence. There was a lot of violence in the country. And a lot of this violence probably has roots, or rather can be ascribed to Awami League. After all, they'll react. You press that cat to a corner, it will react. So I won't rule out the Awami League at all. Right? So that brings you to a situation. The army has very clearly told Yunus and company, hold the elections. Yunus doesn't want to hold the elections because probably they know they'll lose. And if the day the elections are held, it doesn't matter who comes. And Yunus is old enough to know that he'll be the first guy Bakra to be killed. He'll be out.
Right. As happens in Bangladesh's very violent history. We're only going by history. We're not advocating any line of action. This is Bangladesh's history. It has a very violent past. It's very surprising for us here in India. We've never had any such violent transitions. All our transitions have been very peaceful. The Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition may shout at each other in public, but privately they have a good equation. But here, I think in that sense, Bangladesh takes after Pakistan. This violence, and I think Yunus knows that, as you said, that 75, 81, Ershad in jail, Khaleda in jail, so he knows what is happening. So it is very important for his own survival.
Yeah,
you said.
Yeah, look, there's a clear parallel and a similarity between what's happened in Pakistan over the years and what's happened here. Those 4 military coups and number of people, Bhutto hanged, and look at it. right? Imran Khan jailed. See, there's a clear thing. Their prime ministers have been jailed. Not a single chief of theirs has, after retirement stayed. They all run away. Same thing here. So, and
Hmm.
in both these places, the revolution which has happened in these countries has eaten up its own children. They say
Right.
revolutions have a habit of eating up their own children. So in
Eating up
this,
their
the
children.
child, right? The child, the old child of this revolution is Yunus. I feel he will be
Right.
the first guy who will be eaten up,
Right.
right? By whatever happens in February. So he knows it. He doesn't want elections. But the army is very clear they want to hold elections. The
Right.
one difference I see, probably that's why I said 1.5. The
Right.
army and the chief are not interested in taking over the nation so far.
That's interesting. Why is that? He doesn't want to shoulder that responsibility. Wakaruzaman, general.
I think he is probably the only hope in Bangladesh today. He's the centrist of the whole lot, and he's
Right.
looking at the larger interests. In fact, look, he's also in touch with the US people. After all, the US
Right.
Pacific Command guy came, he went to Qatar once, and he must be talking to India. He's been talking to everyone, and he is the, one who's probably holding the country together and not making it Pakistan 2.5, 2.0, and hold,
Right.
So he's the fourth player. You see, if I look at it, the four political players who are looming up is one is BNP, one is
Yeah.
Awami League, which is coming back up. Third is this
Right.
JEI, Jamaat, and the NCP. Fourth is, the party, the army itself. And
Right.
the fifth player who's like a kite who's flying, cut off is Yunus. But
Yunus.
unfortunately,
Right.
that kite without clear stake on the ground
Right.
is also Yunus, but he's controlling everything at this point of time.
Yeah. As
So,
chief advisor. My mistake. Sorry. Chief advisor.
chief advisor. So
Yeah.
now you see that, this problem we will see because this uncertainty will continue. Someone
Right.
will come up in February. But said that, will this problem get solved in February? It will not. There will be this problem will take another shape. The problem won't go away. Let's be very clear. This problem is not going to go away. Right? This problem might not be as violent as it is or as problematic as it is with Pakistan, but this will have a different problem which we'll have to deal with. Right? It will not be a military problem for us, and I have a different opinion on that Siliguri corridor. The Siliguri corridor, everyone says is a threat and all. It's been 70 years now. It's not been a threat. China can't come there. Let's be very clear.
Right.
Neither can
Right.
Bangladesh do anything about it. And if you have to, one of the garrisons which you are putting up at Chopra sits just up 10 kilometers away from the Tetulia. South of
Right.
that, you can go, just go through that little thumb which sticks out in Bangladesh. 5 kilometers, you are into Jalpaiguri.
Right.
That's not a problem. The Siliguri corridor, in my way of thinking, is not a problem. But then
No.
you have to look at the bigger issues.
Right.
How do you deal with East Pakistan 1.50 is
Yeah.
the bigger issue which we are talking, or East Pakistan 2.0. What will it be? It's not going to be Bangladesh. Don't expect it to be Bangladesh of 71, or don't expect it to be Bangladesh of Sheikh Hasina. That's gone. That era is gone.
And
Will it
Islamized
become
Bangladesh. Yeah.
Islamized Bangladesh?
Right.
I'm sure that this is going to happen.
Right. And would you keep any military contingencies, to cater for such things where Bangladesh becomes a threat, a military threat to us? Do you see that happening, military intervention by India anytime in the near future?
Look, I don't see a military intervention at all. Let me be very honest. Neither should we.
Right.
Because if you see the history, the only time we intervened was in 71. It was an all-out war and all that. And that condition doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
It's going to be a political problem. Let them sort it out. I mean, we don't have any role. And
Yeah.
The history after the 71 intervention is whenever you interfered in the political process in Bangladesh, it has backfired on us.
Right.
It has backfired from 71 to 75. Whatever happened in 71, it was all at the end of the day, it was a political process which you put in place. It backfired on you in 75. Then you invested into Sheikh Hasina. The first time she came, it backfired on us. Again, you have invested into Sheikh Hasina for the past 10-15 years. Again, it has backfired on us.
So what should we do then in that case? Can we just be passive observers?
No, we don't be passive observers. I think we have to be active. But you have to be active in protecting your interests. What are your interests? Seal off the border. Don't expect anything to come out. One. Number two, maintain enhanced vigilance on the North Bay of Bengal. It's easy to say it's international water and all. But look, I mean, let me give a rough parallel. Why did Trump convert Gulf of Mexico into Gulf of America? Why is he doing what he is doing in Venezuela? Why is he doing what he is doing with Canada? Why is he doing what he is doing with Greenland? Why is he doing what he is doing with Panama, Colombia? Look at him. That's the Monroe Doctrine in a different manner.
Yeah.
So this is our backyard, and this is an unruly child, right? So you need to use the stick in a manner. It's best suited for it. So
absolutely.
So you have to, and we are doing it. I mean, let me put it. Let me grant our government that they're doing it. It's not as if we are not doing the thing. We have to be at it. We have to be more political about it. We have to be more savvy about it. We have to be, at the same time, we also need to remember that we shouldn't corner the cat. I mean, it's a good idea. Don't corner the cat. Give it lifelines. Give it lifelines and let it be known to them very clearly that India is their lifeline. Good, bad or ugly, we are your lifeline. You might not like it, but you don't have a choice. So come to us. Wait for them to come to us. You don't have to say we'll go there and help you and you are our friend. I think that situation is past. So that's the way I look at it. You have to have a push and pull kind of a thing.
Hide your strength, bide your time.
You bide your time by not hiding your strength. Show your strength, demonstrate your strength in different manner. Strength doesn't mean military only. Okay. You protect your national interests and let it be known to them that you will be very punitive if they act against your interests, and define those core interests to them. For example, you tell them if China appears anywhere in the Teesta Barrage thing or in Lal Monir Ghat, we will be punitive and military intervention there. Very simple. Okay, tell them you will not allow that. Okay, so we'll not allow it. As simple as that. So that is where we have to, and till they come back to us. Maybe there will be a time when they have a stable government. Maybe it will not happen in 1 year, 2 years. It might be 3, 4, 5 years. Who knows? So you don't close Bangladesh off completely. Don't let it off your hook also. So keep it on the hook. Inhibit China from getting in. Inhibit Pakistan from getting in. And we have methods of doing it. I think that's the way to go forward. You tell them you are sovereign till the time we decide you are sovereign.
Right.
Their sovereignty must be defined by us. I'm talking real politics. I'm not talking, morals. What is in India's interest we should do.
Yeah. Exactly. So a bit like what Russia does with the near abroad, and that's one reason they went to war with Ukraine. The fact that they did not want NATO at their doorstep. And meanwhile, for our viewers, I did a podcast a few days back with Wing Commander Krishnamurthy. He is, in fact, one of the only few survivors of that famous surrender at Dhaka picture. He was there. He witnessed the surrender. So I've had the chance to speak with him. So once you watch our podcast, you could possibly go down on the Chakra website and see the podcast I did with Wing Commander Krishnamurthy. Very interesting comments, General Shankar. What he told me was that we should have actually put the Pakistan army on trial for genocide. He says we did not do that. We were very nice to them, and we kind of let them get away as just prisoners of war. Interesting observation he made was that we conducted 2 rescues in 1971. We rescued the Bangladeshis, of course, from the Pakistan military, and then we rescued the Pakistan military from the Bangladeshis, which he says could have been avoided. Maybe that's his view, but it's a very strong view. You should take a look at that podcast when you finish watching our discussion. But Shankar, with your permission, I'd take some questions now. There are lots of questions. Our viewers want to know, what should Mukti Bahini, Sanatan, and Bharat aligned ex-Muslims on way to Ghar Wapsi do in near, medium, and long term? We have completely lost the plot.
Look, without getting into all those sobriquets of Sanatan, Bharati and all, we have to get into realism and real politics. As simple as that. We have to have a new, we have to have a new policy for Bangladesh. And that policy should take into account what's the current reality, the past historic thing, and what is likely to happen in future. In fact, I would like to tell everyone, that's why I've started a series on Bangladesh. I just did this, I did the first one, and on how, what are the events which led up to the 71 war. And I found many of us in India don't know about it. So the next one I'm going to do is on the political history of Bangladesh.
Right.
People don't know many things. I'm going to go into the details. Today I've just put the outlines of that political history. So unless you understand what happened in every 5-10 years of their history, and that will tell you where it's going forward. And then, of course, I want to do another one on Bangladesh, China, rise of Jamaat, rise of all those. So I'm going to do that. It's going to, and plus, like you rightly said, which is a very interesting thing which you had this discussion. Maybe you and I could discuss this again.
Yes.
We did 2 savings in 71. We saved the Bangladeshis from Pakistan army, and we saved the Pakistan army from Bangladesh.
Yes.
So what do we do now? So we have to think this way through, and we'll discuss this. Yeah,
absolutely. We should do that ASAP. And Deptosh, very good rational discussion. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, Deptosh. We'll keep coming with these discussions. That's why you're here Saturday morning every single week. Comedy Munir doing the favorite scene that Ajay Devgan that's it. we heard it here first. And now it's, of course, Islamization of Bengali culture. Of course, that has happened. You might cover this today, but all the pieces that both Pakistan will become in the future, we should have total control. Others become a playground for foreign powers.
Look, it's not a matter of whether it becomes a playground for foreign powers. It's been a playground for foreign powers ever since 1975.
Yes.
Who are the foreign powers? It's the foreign powers which are going to be here are USA, it's going to be China, and it's going to be Pakistan. It's only these 3 who are interested. Okay.
Right.
To some extent, the Middle East will come in, but then that is peripheral to the issue. Will Bangladesh vanish from this whole story? It will not. Please understand. Importance of Bangladesh to America and India will increase. And the reason I'm now taking off on a tangent, but I'll touch upon it in my series, is because of the rare earths which are there in Myanmar. Bangladesh, India, USA and China are, goal. And I'll talk of it later.
Yes, interesting. Yeah, we did mention that in one of the discussions that Myanmar's rare earths is something that the United States wants. And here's Shritik asking about religious radicalization in India failed to address the root cause. root cause. It's a separate discussion, Shritik. It is something that we should cover at some point. The Hindu majority Buddhist Christian population of Bangladesh subject to nonsense last year. Was anything covert done to protect them, or were they left to their fate?
Look, let me invite Kiran has brought up a very important thing. Whatever has happened to the Buddhist, Christian, and Hindu population of Bangladesh in the past 1 year is not new. That's what I want to put across. That's why I done the studying the history of Bangladesh, and even for me, it's been a bit of a revolution. It started in 1975 when they changed the secular nation quality of their constitution. Right? It's not new. The JEI always had the anti of these fellows, minorities. What has happened now? Because this is a fresh wound which has started. We are looking at it. Because for the past 10-15 years, Sheikh Hasina gave protection to these people. Things are different. Because people started, celebrating Durga Puja a little more, open way in the past 10-15 years. But we have forgotten the past.
Right.
So this is not a new thing. This is a thing which has existed with them from 1975.
Right.
You have to have deep-rooted thinking to resolve this problem. Otherwise, you have a major problem. I mean, again, sorry, I'm being a little passionate about this whole topic because I think this is the more important. To me, this is a bigger problem than Pakistan. Pakistan is not a problem. It's a threat. It's a military threat. We'll handle it.
Right.
This is a humanitarian issue, which is always more complicated. So that is why you have to see what's happening within Bangladesh to understand and do, because we have stakes in it for the entire Northeast.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a very important point, Shankar. The fact that Bangladesh is of greater worry to us because it affects the Northeast. Pakistan is a military threat. We are not so, worried by that. That's an interesting and important distinction that you've made. I think our viewers also would take this away from this conversation. The fact that why we are so worried about Bangladesh, it is because the Northeast is at risk because of Bangladesh. There's another question here, sir, that Sam Keating asked about a senior veteran in Bangladesh Army exercise. Said the red team is always to their north and west, basically India. Are we being blind to an enemy, or are they justified?
No, it's not well known. They've always called us Foxland. Foxland. And we also must understand, you see, in any situation between any two countries next to each other will have a problem.
Yes.
Don't we have problems with Bangladesh, Sri Lanka? Don't we have problems with Nepal? We've had problems with Myanmar, all. So the same thing with Bangladesh. And Bangladesh, given its roots and given its history, and given the fact that this was a different country which was completely anti-India. And remember, the idea of Pakistan didn't start in West Pakistan. It started in East Pakistan in Dhaka.
Yes. It was the Bengali and the UP elite, which pioneered the struggle for a separate homeland for Indian Muslims.
So,
Akash Tarani the geography called East Pakistan was a rich area in 1757. Arrival of the British and Cloak and Dagger conspiracy, start of the looting, and is still in progress. Your views?
Well, I agree with you. It was in progress till British left.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the thing is, why was this geography very important? Look, it is the Ganges.
Yes.
The Ganges, because the Ganges flew up to Delhi. In fact, if you look at it, trace the Islamic ideology. The Islamic ideology came to India from across Afghanistan, crossed over Indus, came to Delhi, breached the Gangetic plain. Delhi sits on the head of the Gangetic plain, and then flew down, or rather came down the Gangetic thing into Bangladesh. And that area being the most fertile, and the conversion, everything happened.
Yes.
But the moment Bangladesh and East Pakistan came into being, in fact, East Pakistan, this connectivity of Calcutta with Delhi was taken out from Bangladesh or East Pakistan. After that, as an economic entity, it just collapsed. See,
Right.
economy and geography have a connect. That
Yeah.
connection, the East Pakistan as it came, that connection broke.
Right. Absolutely. And I want to add to this, young Shankar, because, I'm a student of history as well. And R.C. Majumdar, this historian, has said that whichever great power on the Indian subcontinent has controlled Bengal, that is the entire Indo-Gangetic deltas that young Shankar mentioned, has controlled the entire Indian subcontinent. Whether it is the Mughals, the British. In fact, the British conquest of India began, like you mentioned, Akash, with the Battle of Plassey. And when they controlled Bengal, that gave them so much of, economic power that they could then finance their expansion across the Indian subcontinent. And, the story of British in India was two engines that they ran on. One was, of course, the Bengal engine, that's undivided Bengal. And the other one was the Punjab engine, undivided Punjab. And of course, Bombay province, So these two engines were firing the British Empire here in India. And, the partition, of course, is undid both of these. It's not done to the benefit of either Punjab or Bengal. So 56 Islamic countries don't beg this. Begging tweets are raised on anti-India rhetoric to their doom. Yes. MV Kiran just says, no questions. Glad to see you both on this weekly ADVAITA. Thank you for watching, Kiran. Please keep tuning in. Every Saturday we're here. I'm here to pick General Shankar's brains. And Advaita hopefully will join us to give us a third axis. We have future DG artillery. Have Bangladesh and Pakistan proven that you can't change your blood? Both are absolute basket cases. Anti-Hindu, anti-India rhetoric forms the touchstone of their political fundamentalism. We need to fix it.
We can't fix them. Yeah, we covered this.
Yeah. Krishna Upadhyay asked that if you do not consider Hindus in Bangladesh as our responsibility, then it's not a problem for us.
Look, I will not get into this polemic of whether they are our responsibility or not. Okay, they are a different country. Let's look at it geopolitically. Right? I don't want to get involved with this religious business. Yeah.
Absolutely. If Pakistan and Bangladesh reunite, will it get the nuclear deterrence against India? Interesting.
How do they reunite?
He's saying that you go back, you turn the clock back to 16.
That season has passed.
Yeah, that much water has flown down the Padma and the Meghna. Perception of being advocate for human rights, ignore the plight of Hindus, and we are Batmobile.
No, we are not ignoring the plight of Hindus there. Okay, right. We are not ignoring, but the kind of things which people expect us to do to help the minorities there is unrealistic. We are doing what we have to do. Yeah.
They say that Waqar-uz-Zaman is also bought by the US CIA. If true, then how can he be trusted?
Trusted, yeah. Okay. Look, this is a game of, you have to play this game in the gray zone. That's it.
You've left it at that, with the gray zone. Every rupee India has to spend on Bangladesh, new capabilities. Rupee not spent on countering China. Strategic calculus that has been fundamentally altered. Have we hiked our towards Bangladesh? I don't think we have.
We have. I don't think so.
And finally, we'll just take one or two more questions. A lot of comments here. Jan Shankar, you bring out a lot of comments. If this is exactly the point that you mentioned about the Monroe Doctrine. If US did the Dhaka coup to sow chaos in our backyard, should we stay only defensive? Should we go to their yard and help Venezuela and Cuba, etc.?
No, we don't have to go there. We don't have the capability. We shouldn't, fool ourselves that we'll go to Venezuela, Cuba, we'll go to North Pole, go to Greenland, go to Canada. Let's look after our backyard.
Right. Look after our
That's
backyard.
simple.
And that's the next question. Why was chicken neck not captured in 71 and Chittagong? Interesting question. This has come up a lot in the last few months.
See, we didn't expect Bangladesh to turn out the way it did. As simple as that.
Right.
I don't think there's any other explanation to this.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Who would have thought that 50 years down the line we would be looking at a problem like this? I feel historians cheated by historians for hiding so much from us. Ankitas. Also, why are subcontinent Muslims so radicalized? Aren't we the same family? Don't we bleed the same? Yes, of course, we are the same family.
Of course.
But historians, historical interpretations. Yeah, I think history is there's a case for relooking.
I'll put it this way: it is the way history has panned itself out in the subcontinent, and it is shaped by the Britishers. See, why did the idea of having a Pakistani state the way it is, or the Pakistan today as it emerged, originated here? Till then, the Britishers had no. If you go back into our own history, the Britishers, till the time this story started in Dhaka, didn't have a clue as to how to deal with the post-British India,
Right.
the post-colonial India. They got the idea when that they said, okay, all these fellows, Muslims got together and said, we want a separate homeland. They said, oh, good.
Right.
If they want a homeland there, they would talk of a united Bengal, Yevo also. Those days. A lot of ideas were thrown up. But that was when the Britishers got the idea, let's do something in West Pakistan or today's West Pakistan. So that you have a wedge between this was part of a great game, You will also look at the time when, young husband went to Tibet, all that.
Yeah.
A lot of people were going into expeditions into Central Asia. So a lot of things are involved. Yeah.
Right. This is an interesting question. Mr. Igu asks, why hasn't the Indian PR machinery pushed the real reality? Where are our documentaries, TV series, and cultural push in Bangladesh? World has moved into info war. We can't do emergency procurement or import PR.
Nice one.
That's a good comment.
Actually, this is our Achilles heel.
Yes.
I'll be very honest. Strategic communication is where we have failed ourselves.
Right.
Repeatedly. Okay. And it's very surprising for a country which has so many TV channels, so many print and, so many social media capabilities. We have a Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. What information we broadcast, I don't know.
But Mr. Igu's point is you can't do emergency procurement.
Or import.
But I must add to this what you said, Shankar, is that because my second book was on Bangladesh, 1971, and for which I researched 2 years, Operation X. Those of you who are watching, you should read that. The tragedy is that we've carried out one of the greatest military operations of the 20th century. We have, in 9 months, we went in, we liberated a country, we created a new country, and then we stepped back. Till date, in the last 54 years, I have yet to see a powerful documentary, a web series, a movie, a set of books, histories, nothing. This whole chapter, this very glorious chapter that was shaped by General Shankar and his colleagues, is completely missing from our history. What do you do? What do you exactly? I mean, you're not even blowing your own trumpet for justifiable achievements. I mean, these are historic achievements, and we have not advertised it, we have not mentioned it, we have not narrated it, not created any strategic communications. To the extent that this was my first thought when I saw the Bangladeshis destroying that mural of the surrender of Pakistan. I said, we have not done anything to tell them that what a glorious moment in their country that particular photograph was, where Indians fought and died for the liberation of Bangladesh. And that whole chapter and we haven't done anything. We're so laid back about this whole thing. Like you said, Jan Shankar, we don't have that culture of strategic communication. We are not good history writers. We are not good storytellers. We are not good at strategic communication. That's a very big problem. And we've seen that right up to Operation Sindoor even, where the kind of military feats that we've done, it's very, very awe-inspiring, but the strategic communication was not there, or it came very late. It came like the Bombay police or the Mumbai police in the last reel of, they come in at the end of a movie. That's how it plays. That's a sad truth. And finally, I think we should we should have a Ministry of Information and Podcasting. Indeed. Yeah, we should actually. Yeah. And then finally, last question: how are secular if Muslims got two countries, but Muslims didn't leave India? Well, that's, I think Islam has its own laws. Should life be conducted from birth to death? Islam and democracy compatible? Any thoughts?
It is. You look at Indonesia.
Yes.
It's not as if Islam and democracy are not compatible. Look at Indonesia. Indonesia is a democracy.
Democracy, and it's an Islamic country at the same time. Will normalization of India-US relations and Bangladesh's Islamic rise?
I doubt.
Well, there's reasons to believe that that they're complicit in their rights, and we've seen that from the past.
We shouldn't have blinkers on ourselves. Let's not have any.
Yes. Not be under any illusions. And I think let that be the last question, General Shankar. What a fascinating discussion it has been. It's really a lot of distance that we've traveled in the last hour or so about Bangladesh. And we should actually come back to this because, like you mentioned, that Bangladesh is of greater concern to us, to our northeast, than it is, say, Pakistan is. So we should look at this at another discussion at some point. I just want to thank all our viewers for being here on a Saturday morning. And I hope you come back again next Saturday. We'll be here 9 a.m. IST. General Shankar in conversation with me, and if Advaita joins us, it'll be of us in conversation with another big topic, relevant topic, geopolitics, geoeconomics, strategy, defense, whatever is trending next Saturday. So with that, I'll leave you all to a great weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, General Shankar, for your time, for your thoughts. And
have a great day.
Have a great day, sir. Bye.